Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So if you haven't heard, apparently the soundtrack people that are doing or working on a secret project, this is called I think the Flight Music is what they're called. They have their Instagram has been discovered to have had some of those cryptic symbols that were posted by Warner Brothers Montreal. Now, what's really funny is this information was already out there since January, but I think more people are getting wind of it. And more importantly than anything is the fact that you have these soundtrack artists. We don't know when they started working on this. We don't know all the details, but this tells me a few things and confirm some of my, suspicion that I've had around this game for a long time. And the first one is that this game is somewhere in a mid stage of its development. Usually you want to bring in your soundtrack people to kind of start reading the script, seeing what the game is about, seeing the emotions that they're trying to drive, and then they start developing their soundtracks around it. Now, I play a video game and I have a whole nother channel around Tom Clancy's The Division 2 and The Division, and I've been watching for a long time a lot of the game's development process and its soundtrack. I even know the soundtrack guy by name and last name. He doesn't know who I am, but I've been following his work, and I actually have purchased all the soundtracks for the games because his soundtracks are pretty good. In watching his soundtrack development process and how they work on these games, they usually start doing the work before the game is actually announced, because if you have your soundtrack people, they do the music that goes with your trailers. And so either this game is in the development phase, or the trailer stuff is probably being made, probably being curated with the game, and they're working on that, or the game is actually at the final phases of development. But the reason we haven't gotten anything official is because there isn't a lot of buzz and hype around this game. Now, for years, fans have been asking for a new Batman game, and Warner Brothers started doing these teases. But these teases, instead of generating excitement, have generated frustrations, because people are like, we don't want to follow any cryptic messages. We just want a trailer. Instead of, them saying, oh, we're excited that something is in the works. And the truth is, if there was a trailer, we would see it, but there is no trailer right now. So that tells me that Warner Brothers may not be comfortable with the amount of hype that they're actually getting, or the amount of buzz, because Batman, for some reason, is not gaining as much popularity as Spider-Man did and Spider-Man has. If you look at Spider-Man in terms of the way that game generated a lot of hype, the game literally sold millions, in the tens of millions of copies, being just a PlayStation exclusive. In order to match that kind of sales or match it, you have to be able to generate the buzz that's necessary. So they have big shoes to fill. Back in the day, Spider-Man only had to just fill the shoes of the last Arkham game. I say back in the day, a few years ago, or a year and whatever months ago, but then it did so, and did so very well, and gained a lot of critical acclaim. So now they are in a place where they have to actually come out with a solid game that would actually compete and be able to even still draw some of these Spider-Man fans to be able to come and take a look at the Arkham games, which most of them will. But how are you going to get that big market? And from what we're seeing, news like this haven't been, something that happened, last month. Even just getting out in the open tells us that, the journalism and, the research of the fans and news outlets doesn't necessarily seem to be, in my opinion, very, very meticulous. They're not being clinical as to how they're covering this, and that's because I think the news landscape is more competitive. Everybody's looking for the biggest story, and small little stories like this don't really generate a lot of views and a lot of attention. Or most importantly, what happened in the last few years was we saw games journalists, not all of them, some of them, start discussing things that are not relevant to gamers at all. So gamers kind of tune them out, and even when they actually even post things like this, or even when they see stories like this, they probably don't have, or they probably think it's not enough, so they generate hate bait and generate all kinds of controversial things to drive for clicks. And now here we are, we're just in a weird place where this game is in a state that we have no idea where it is. They haven't even announced that they're working on anything. They just, put a t-shirt picture, put a picture of Capture the Night. They put one other thing that's incomplete there, and everybody's looking like, what is going on? So I don't know, man. This is probably very scary for Warner Brothers. And so maybe this game was ready to even come out this generation, and they decided to just shift it to the next generation, because if the buzz is not happening organically, they might need to use the new console generation to push this game out to the general public. Because when a new console generation comes out, Microsoft and Sony are going to be spending some heavy marketing budget in order to be able to put this in front of people. Imagine if you were a game developer, you would want for your game to be ready at that point. And so maybe your game can be selected to be one of the games that these companies can actually tout in front of the audiences. Just imagine if you're bringing out a new console and all you have to say is it's backward compatible, come pay me $400 or $500. Many people are going to say, why would I bother if there are no new games, or even games that are somewhat exclusive to play? Or maybe if the console doesn't, have anything special to offer other than power. Yes, there are people who will go for the power, the enthusiasts, but many people are going to hold on to their older consoles. And so I think the marketing is going to have to be very convincing. And I think that's where this game is going to be coming to light. It's going to be coming to light with the marketing that's going to be available for both the Xbox Series X and the PS5. So either way, we're gonna get this game one day, hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't get scrapped and canceled. But I think the buzz has not been really encouraging, and the marketing team needs to take it up on a whole notch. They need to take it to a different level, and they need to start putting this game out there. But maybe they are working things in place. Maybe they're waiting for a May possible release. There's April as well for a tease. There are all kinds of fun stuff. There's also E3, so we might as well just hold up until we see all these things. Now, if if April and May pass, then we can say, okay, maybe E3, and then if E3 passes and we get nothing, then we can all just pack our bags and go home and say whenever the game is ready, it's ready. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Thank you very much for your time and audience. I appreciate you guys so much. Let me hear what you think in the comment section below, and I guess I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.